Welcome to T-Boys TV. We are back again with another Hatter Show, obviously episode 126. Apologies, we are late. It is my bad. It's not because this laptop is slow or anything. Obviously, got a new one. Shout out to my dad. But yeah, we were trying to sort out a light because I literally put a lamp in not too long ago and it was already getting dim. And it looked very dark. And this is the best I can do for now. I've actually got another lamp which I put right next to the laptop, and then next time I'm gonna, well, I might start it on Saturday actually, because obviously I'm planning to do a watch on Saturday. So yeah, I'm gonna try it there and see what it's like. And I'll have a little play around before and etc. So yeah, apologies about that. But obviously a lot of things to discuss in this one. Obviously, we are doing it on Thursday as well. And the main reason for that really is obviously because Tottenham play tomorrow in the Premier League game. So I obviously want to get my predictions out before that game. And also, I'm busy tomorrow night as well. So that's why we are doing it today. But yeah, like I say, a lot of things to get into. Forest reaction, Villa, obviously, preview. Obviously, they are playing right now. And then obviously a few other little bits as well that I want to get into during this. But like always, I'm joined with my dad. How are we, Dad?
Yeah, all good, mate. All bubbly, all good. Glad it's working fine and that. Shout out to the barbers for that. So yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And big up to everyone that was waiting. A lot of comments before, which I'm going to get into now. Some I've starred, and I'll get into, when it's the right times in the streams, i.e. score predictions, that sort of thing. But Chris actually says, big up to Chris, regular on the channel. He says, didn't know you signed Andros Townsend until I watched highlights of the Forest game. That's a very sensible signing, Premier League experience. I prefer him on the pitch and his terrible punditry. To be fair, his punditry, I haven't really seen it. So I can't really comment. But yeah, it's a good signing. I said it could potentially be a signing that actually keeps us up. Because for me, what we've seen in these opening couple games is we are showing that we can compete at this level. We just, previously before he come in, we were struggling to, put the ball in the back of the net. It was only Morris, really, wasn't it? So, like you say, his experience could be vital for us, and I think it will be. But yeah, that's that on that. Jackie says, "Oh no, won't be back for this. We'll catch up tomorrow. I'm hoping Villa are knackered Sunday and we get a draw. Come on, you Hatters." Big up to Jackie. Yeah, hopefully it's going to be a very difficult game. Like I say, obviously we'll get into it later on. Big up to Spencer as well for this nice comment. It says, hi all, unfortunately I can't stay, but wanted to wish T a happy belated birthday. Hope that you had a good one. Yeah, it's a good one, mate. It was a good one. I worked quite early and then come back, went to this place with my dog, my mum and that. Pretty sick. It's like a place for dogs. It's a pretty sick place, to be fair. And then come back, just chilled out, really, mate. So big up yourself for that. Big up to Stephen in the chat as well. He says big up Ty and big up to Dazza. So big up to yourself as well, mate. But yeah, let's get into it. So like I say, Nottingham Forest, obviously we watched it together. If you haven't watched the vlog from home, I don't know what you're doing. You definitely got to check that out. That was absolute limbs. But yeah, Nottingham Forest, we took them on, obviously. Going into it, we were, feeling a draw. Obviously it was back-to-back that we went for the same predictions. A 1-1 draw. And, the City ground is a very difficult place to go. So going into it, we would have took the draw. And, we obviously did get that. Obviously, when it comes to lineups, it was Kaminsky in goal. Doughty, Menji, Lockyer, Burke, Chio, Nakamba, Ruddock, Chong, Morris and Brown As for the bench, it was Elijah, Barkley, Giles, Kabore, Krul, Luco's obviously a youngster, Osho, Townsend, and Woodrow. Me, when I saw that lineup, I was pretty happy with it. As much as Brown hasn't been great for me since the Fulham game, he was, for me, I would have still, went with him because Townsend, yeah, he's got minutes under his belt, but not quite in the Premier League. And I think it was a good, idea to bring him on later on in the game like we did. It was good to see Chong starting. I think the last couple of times he's come on, he's affected the games. Burnley, he was very good, alongside Elijah. And other than that, it was, pretty much what I said. So yeah, I was fairly happy with that lineup. To be fair, your thoughts on it, Dad, when you saw it?
Yeah, obviously similar. It's what would be expected. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Straight like that. And then moving in to the first half. Obviously, this game ended 2-2, as we all know, but it was 0-0 at half time. From what I can remember, and what I remember saying on the vlog we did is we both had even sort of chances, but I'd say they had the better ones, and Kaminsky made some really good saves, two massive saves in that first half. One of them was a save and then a clear away from Lockyer, and we were having chances, but like I said, theirs were bigger chances. And yeah, it was one where it was quite even. It was quite even, like I say, but they just had them better chances, and Kaminsky made some really good saves. And he's done that a lot already. Since he's come to the club, he's made some vital saves, and it was his birthday actually a couple of days before mine. And they were showing Luton, obviously put on the Twitter and all of that. His saves so far, and some of them he's made have been ridiculously good. Even one I massively gave him credit for was the one against Chelsea, where as much as it's straight at him, that was a powerful shot. All them defenders in the box as well, they can get in your way. Not deliberately, but they just can. And, it's a wicked save and double save against, I think it might have been Wolves or Burnley, someone at home. He's been phenomenal. He has had the odd mistakes, but at the end of the day, what keeper doesn't? So yeah, I just wanted to say that on him. But yeah, what did you make of the first half, Dad?
Yeah, it was they weren't as tough as we thought they'd be. It's quite evenly matched. They had quite a lot of possession, but they're good at home, and they showed that. But again, it was tight. It was tight, and that's what it was expecting. So that's a good thing for us. We're going into games better. A couple of times we've been 1-0 down at half time or more, and we, again, that's another improvement. So overall, yeah, I was quite pleased with the first half. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And moving into the second half, obviously this is where all the liveliness was for the game. Obviously, we'll start off with. I'll go straight into their goal because it was, shortly after half time. And I did think it was a poor goal to concede. Chris Wood did have that feeling, if someone was going to score for them, it would be him. I don't know. He's just one of them players, isn't he? And he does score vital goals for Forest, since he's joined, to be honest. Obviously, when they drew 1-1 with Man City last season, at home, he scored the goal later on in the game. And it was a good finish by him. I'll give him that. But at the same time, I don't think the defending was great for it. I think from what I can remember, Burke and Lockyer were coming out. It was definitely two defenders. I know Burke was one of them. And the communication just weren't great. I don't know why two of them were going to the ball, and it gave Wood space to get in behind, which we know he's not the quickest of players. So it wasn't great goal to concede in that style. Kaminsky, he obviously rightly so, come out because he just had to. But I did have that feeling, as soon as he was 1-on-1, he was going to score. It was a good finish, like I say, but I feel we could have defended it better, to be honest. And obviously every game so far this season, we have conceded, which obviously, we knew it's going to be difficult because, it's a massive jump up. We all know this. it's the hardest league in the world. But we do need to cut these a little bit. Even in the Burnley game, I thought it's sort of a similar goal, to the first goal they got. In the sense where they've got in behind and that sort of thing. Obviously the other goal they got in that game as well, we switched off. So can't afford to do that, at this level, let alone any level. Do you know what I mean? But we are seeing it a lot so far in this one. Even the goal Wolves got, for example, again in behind, Lockie got done a bit too easy. But what did you make of the first goal, Dad, that they got?
Yeah, it's very similar, but at the high levels, you're going to get punished if you're not like switched on. It's normal, really. But yeah, we've seen it with very similar goal, like I said before. But it's going to happen. Lockie's not got the pace. And I think Burke was feeling it in this game. He couldn't get back in time as well. So it's one of them. But it's how you react to it. It is disappointing. But we all know what happened. So you'll concede better goals than that. It's not a terrible goal to concede. It's just one of them. And Wood's a good top level player. So give him the chance. He's going to take him. He actually is probably their man of the match, to be fair.
Yeah, no, I'd definitely say so. Obviously, he got brace, in this one. And obviously, we made some changes. And I did say, and I actually got it on the vlog that we done. So I was happy. Like, I was gassed in that sense because I felt like I knew, obviously, I'm not Rob Edwards, but I felt I knew what to do and it actually worked. I said, let's bring Townsend on. Let's bring Barkley on. Obviously Brown and Chong, bring them off. And Chong, he was decent. He was decent in this game. He was trying to do things. I thought in the first half he was good. Second half, he was still okay, but he dropped off a little bit compared to how he was in the first half. Brown, he had a great opportunity, like we mentioned on the vlog. It's half of it's an open goal. He's just got to put it on the left. He's headed it straight down the middle. Easy one for Turner, who I didn't think was great in this game, if I'm being honest. But obviously it made the changes. Barkley come on, Townsend, Elijah. Obviously before that, like you briefly mentioned, Burke obviously had that moment, unfortunately, which it's not ideal. We're getting defensive injuries every single game. Even if they're minor, we're just getting them constantly. Look at the Everton game, 2 players in that game. This game, 1 player. I think even in the Burnley, Bell. So it's happening a lot, which, obviously it's not their fault, but it is an occurring thing, which does make you worry. But obviously it made the changes. But then they went 2-0 up with 14 minutes to go, plus added time. And I'm not going to lie, I thought the game was done. I thought it was one of them at 1-0, wasn't it? Next goal's, of course, vital. Obviously if we get back in it, then go on to win it. Obviously, if they scored again, I did think the game was done. Wood again, header. For me, Cabore's got to be doing better. I didn't think he was too bad from what I've seen, previously from him in this game. But just moments like that, you've got to stop the cross. Going forward and that, he was good. But again, that's all well and good. But he's a defender. We've got players especially a lot more players now, that are urging to be chomping at the bit that are our forward players to do well. So, I need him to be doing his main job, which is obviously defending. He is the only right wing back, as well. But annoying goal to concede. Again, good goal, quality goal, but we've got to defend better there. But what did you make of it, Dad?
Yeah, so we know, he's being found out a bit. Just to be honest, do you know what I mean? Yeah, he's a Man City player and that, but he ain't performed anywhere near it like that. And I just thought, he's going to get beaten for the cross. Yeah, well, it was close. It weren't but still, other defenders probably block that off. Or even if he's potentially going to get done, it should be you need to double up, help him out. And then but the defense was close to it, but Wood played really well, and it was a good goal, to be fair. That's all I can say about it. You know, he's an enforced change. There's a reason why he's being put on the bench, and a centre back's been you know put in his position. So yeah, but it was kind of expected that, like, to that extent. I think they'll just play it down the right, and we'll get done. You know, unless he suddenly changes. He weren't too bad going, like you say, going forward, passing it around and stuff. But yeah, but you know, they say 2-0 is a dangerous lead. It's a famous saying in football, and it turned out to be that. So that's what counts at the end of the day. And that shows great spirit and things like that. Because when we was playing in the Championship, we had a few games like that where certain players weren't performing at all, but the rest of the team just like patterned it up. You know, that they made up for it and recovered. And to do that in the Premier League is good. It's good. So we'll see. But you know, from as it is now, you know, he'll be going back to Man City. That's it. You know, that's it. You know, we've seen enough. Unless he drastically improves, that's it. You know, this is the thing is as well. Like, even when he was on loan to whoever, you know, the French teams or whatever, he was you know, the football's different there. Like, he's in a better, he's in a better team. They cover for him, etc. You know, you've got to step up when you're, you know, basically in a relegation squad, you know, type squad. You know, you've got to step up. You've got to make that difference. You know, which obviously other players have done. Other players have done that ain't even playing at Man City. You know, Doughty stepped up. You know, even Ruddock stepped up to a certain extent, but certain players have stepped it up. You know, Elijah's starting to show that as well. We knew that he had that in him. We all know he's a confidence player. Let's get it right. And he's done it through the leagues, and now he knows he can. It twice, both goals he scored from open play, he's out muscled or out fought or both.
Yeah,
you know, the defenders, and that's just going to give him massive confidence. So
yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. And then we started going for it, you know. And I remember saying, you know, to you, unfortunately, I didn't get this bit on the block, but I remember saying, you know what, this could be like the Blackburn game. You know, obviously that was a bit different because we were 2-0 down a bit earlier, but still, you know, it felt like it could have been one of them comebacks again, you know. And obviously we did make another change. Woodrow come on, which I'll be honest, I was a little bit surprised about. I get it because we, you know, go attacking, that sort of thing, but just with how he's been, you know, obviously he hasn't been great at the moment.
The thing is with that, we'll get into it obviously in the ratings and that, but this weren't Morris's greatest game. He weren't terrible, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it just weren't working and things like that. And he's played his socks off in the last few games before that as well. So it made sense, you know, 10 minutes, 12 minutes to go, whatever, you know.
Yeah. No, I agree. But yeah, last week, with 9 minutes left. And then obviously we got one back. Obviously Chio deserves, mate. And I did say it to you directly, Dad. I'm not sure if I said it on here, but I said if anyone else deserves to score, you know, other than Morris at the moment, you know, just for the fact Morris has got 2 or more already, it does deserve to be him. Every single game, he's been wicked. You know, he's been going forward. He's been making things happen. You know, you've got to remember, he was the first signing. You know, not necessarily us as fans, but, you know, more neutrals were questioning it. And he's doing brilliant. He is doing absolutely brilliant. And, you know, good goal. Good goal by him. And yeah, it was a sick goal, actually, thinking about it, because the way it went into the top right, you know, in front of the away fans. Big up to them, of course. And yeah, man, what a goal it was. And yeah, I was like, oh, we're gonna do this. We are gonna do this. That's how I felt. Like I said, even at 2-0, you know, after the goal, the way we were pushing on, you know, I felt it could be a Blackburn game. Like I say, unfortunately, I didn't get that on the block, but I did say that to you. But what did you make of the first goal, Dad?
Yeah, obviously the changes made effect. You know, they started panicking a bit. after their changes as well, which is a good thing for us. You know what I mean? If we're meant to be, this is real life. When we play in the game and that, and played on paper, you can say what you like about Luton. They have got some dangerous players, and they're proving that. So, and Nottingham Forest were feeling that as well. So we won the free kick. Barkley took a little bit of deflection, but these things happen. You still got to be alert and things like that. And that's exactly what it was. Great finish. Confident finish as well. And he's full of confidence. He fully believes in himself, and that'll just transition throughout the rest of the team. And that's why it's a good signing as well, because you can go on the other aspect. Like Barkley initially, marquee signing, but not doing nothing. And it's a polar opposite. He's our first signing, come from a league, Rotherham League One team or whatever. Were they in the Championship then? They avoided relegation, but you know what I'm saying. And he's relishing it. But we knew, from his Ireland performances against before he even kicked a ball for us, he played well against Spain, I think Belgium. So obviously
France,
giving them threats, then he's obviously got qualities about him, and that's a shooter signing, And the thing is, what certain Premier League teams won't sign players like him because it will look bad on their the socials or the fact. Do you know what I mean? It does go back to that. I swear. Like, no, he's not a big name. Like, why are we signing him? Backlash. Whereas we're in that comfort zone, and that's it. And our fans ain't gonna. Well, some fans probably be like that. Won't they have been this season, to be fair, but just trust how it goes. Why change it? But composed, confident finish, and you go for it. That's it. We're not sitting back going, "Oh, we're losing 2-0." That's it. We're like, no. Let's see what we can do here. And we're playing with that spirit, and that we haven't got anything to lose. That's part of it. Because sometimes get drawn into that Premier League stuff. No, let's just immediately start passing it. So we don't want to lose by more. And it goes to Robert was confident that we could get a result anyway, and that's why we trust in his players and his decisions, and that's what's working. And the more that keeps snowballing, it's going to be better for us. There will be that scalp against the top, 4 Champions League team. That will happen. It will happen. But yeah, great finish.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like I said, and we started to believe. And 92nd minute, Elijah, like you say, brilliant touch, brilliant finish. What a ball from Lockyer it was as well. What a pass. And we know he's got that in him, because he does try and do them long balls a lot. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I do get a bit frustrated because I just know they're not going to work. But that one was absolutely phenomenal. What a touch from Elijah. We said it on the vlog, we said it previous times on many hat shows. His control is absolutely phenomenal. It's definitely, Premier League quality. We saw it in the time to come to the Premier League, the playoffs, how good he was, in that final to do that. Obviously we've seen glimpses of it, but yeah, that was an absolute brilliant finish. And what a pass as well. And it was absolute scenes in that very front room, absolute scenes in the away end. And wicked goal. Absolute wicked goal. But yeah, anything you'd like to add on it, Doug? Because you briefly
classic. Like, this is how we were playing in the Championship, and obviously it worked there. And certain games we've been taken, but no, we can't really play. But certain situations we know we can, and that was one of them. Lockyer, spot on pass. Underrated for me. But yeah, the control out muscle him, and that was absolutely brilliant. Even the finish, because I think it did actually come up. He could have went to the other side, because Turner did actually get a knee to it, I believe, but it was that clinical that it was just going in. and again, confidence booster for him, deserved. There's nothing wrong with doing that. What do you want us to do? Start making 3, 4, 5 more passes before we, you know what I mean? We're playing to score goals. That's the aim of the game. And if Man City had done that, no one would have complained. Do you know what I mean? But if Luton do it, it's direct football. We couldn't cope with it, and this, that, and the other. What's wrong with that? You got a big man like that up front who's got. Are you not going to take advantage of that? It's just simple, you know, simple things really. Yeah, great finish, and then potentially it could have gone either way after that. But yeah, brilliant, well deserved. His magic, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I say, it could have went either way. Luckily for us, after all that hard work, they did score, but obviously it was offside. Fair play to Lockyer, for holding that line. Ross Barkley.
And I would like to say is that when we got that goal, which when we equalised against Burnley, and we just switched off straight away, the crowd probably felt it. Rob Edwards was on it. The coaching staff was on it. Stay switched on, stay switched on, stay switched on. Do you know what I mean? And we've done that as well. And then we sort of was a little bit juddery because we let them get that opportunity, and we're lucky that Lockyer, played him offside basically. Do you know what I mean? Because that was not a good finish. He was their best player for me. But yeah, luckily we were switched on stuff. So
yeah, no, I definitely agree. He's their best player. Like I say, he got brace. But yeah, Barkley, he was immense in this game and much better. And I felt he would be, and I said it numerous house shows before since Townsend's arrival. I was just thinking it'll boost him, and he saw it. He saw it in the game, and yeah, obviously, he did get away with that little bit at the end, but overall, it's a great point. Like we said, we would take a point going into it, especially if it, obviously being at the City ground, which is never an easy place to go. Like I said in the build-up on the Hat Show before, stat going into it, them and 7 other teams in the whole of the English leagues were still unbeaten at home. So yeah, the fight back was absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, that is that upon that. But before we go into player ratings, we'll go through some comments. Big up to Hanno, who says, yes, lads. Big up to yourself, mate. Stephen says, everyone step up last 20 minutes. We need it full 90 minutes. Excuse me, this Sunday. Yeah, no, absolutely. Villa are cruising in their game at the moment. Excuse me, I've got it on in the background, but yeah, it's going to be a very difficult game. The next 3 coming up are very difficult. That's as well another reason why a point against Forest is massive. For me, just like I say, the City ground is a difficult place to go. Even at the time we went there before that, obviously the 0-0. We were the better team. I remember even Forest fans saying it. Or most of them. And we deserved something there, but we didn't get something. Do you know what I mean? But this one, the fight back was absolutely phenomenal. Irish sensation. Yeah, no, exactly. Big up to Shay as well. It says, hey T. Found out Bolton Morris and Elijah have more Prem goals this season than Rashford and Højlund combined. Yeah, I think that. Well, it's showing at the moment that Højlund is overrated. Because he's got a similar name to Haaland. Seriously, it's mental. But I'm surprised they got more than Rashford, to be fair. Fernandez as well. Oh, don't get me started on that guy. The thing is, don't say too much, mate, because we do have Man United in a couple of games, and they'll probably score against us. It would be typical. I mean, I think Rashford did. Rashford did last time in the League Cup. I'm not sure if Fernandez did, but yeah, I know Rashford definitely did. So that is that upon that. Stephen says hardest run till Boxing Day. Yeah, it's a very difficult run. I had a proper look at it yesterday. And yeah, it is very, very difficult. Outside of the foot shot as well, I think that was on the Elijah goal. Yeah, like the control, the finish was just phenomenal. And I always felt as soon as he controlled it down, the way he did, he was going to score. That's just how I saw it when it comes to that. Yeah, you can jump on if you want, Lewis, mate. I did ask a Villa fan, but he didn't quite get back to me. But yeah, I'll sort that out in a bit. Obviously, let me do the player ratings, and we'll do that. We'll let you on, mate. Yeah, it's going to be a few months. Shortest, so yeah, it's not ideal. Don't get me wrong, I'm not the highest. How do I say it? I'm not his biggest fan. I weren't convinced of him at Palace, but we do miss him because Ruddock, he can do a bit of both, but at the same time, he's not a CDM, and that's how we're starting to play more because obviously we have to because we're in the Prem. We're going to have less possession, that sort of thing. But that's why I'm still a little bit puzzled from loaning Campbell out as well because again he can do a bit of both, but he does it better than Ruddock for me. Obviously, Ruddock still does a decent job, but Campbell is that guy that he's got that grit, that determination to just go at you. Even look at when we played West Ham in that friendly. He was up against Rice. We know how highly valued Rice is. Rightly or wrongly. It doesn't really matter in that sense. And look how well we done against him. So yeah, that is that. But yeah, let's get into the player ratings. So obviously we'll start off with Kaminsky. Like I say, 2 massive saves in the first half, and he could have been people's man of the match as much as he conceded 2. Again, not really his fault for me on any of them. 2 really good goals. Like I say, I don't blame him coming out for the first one. I'm gonna go. I'll go for 7.5.
Yeah, I echo your thoughts. 7.5. Looking more established, making them crucial saves as well at points. So yeah, I'm glad he's in the team. 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Moving on to the next player, we will go over to Burke. We'll start off with Burke when it comes to defensively. Unfortunate for him. Obviously had that little knock. I don't think it'll be an awful injury. It won't be a long time, but he was starting to get into the team a little bit more, so it was a bit gutting. The goal, like I said, I felt him and Lockyer. They could have communicated a little bit better. It's him and someone. It might not have been Lockyer, but it was definitely him and someone. I thought he was okay, just that little moment. But I'm not going to go. I'm not going to obviously be too harsh. Like I said, I thought he was okay. I'll I'll just go with standard 6.
No, I could give him a 7. I thought it was it was decent as much as he can be. He was close between that. That their first goal, him and Lockyer, like you say, but putting it in, it's just unfortunate, really. And he was playing kind of out of position, he was playing on the right, wasn't he? So yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on to the next player, Lockyer. Like I said, obviously, had that moment. I'm just going to go straight in with a 6.5.
I felt he was winning quite a lot of headers. I think it was pretty decent performance for him, and he got the assist. So I'm going to give him 7.5.
Yeah, obviously, big up to him for that assist. With that, Menji, I thought he was wicked. I want to give a shout out to Menji. Since he's come in, part of that shot he had against Exeter, but again, he is a defender. He's come in and he's done well. When we signed him, something I looked at is, obviously like his highlights, see what he's all about. And I said he looks like quite a bulky player, so it's like one that we need in that sense as well. And there was 2 vital blocks at the end of the game when Nottingham Forest started putting pressure on us, and he was wicked. I remember saying to you, Benji there deserves massive credit. I'm not sure if I said it on the vlog, but he was immense for me. And it is, good in the sense, obviously, you don't want players to be injured, obviously, but it's good that we've got that another option because obviously you can play on the right as well as left centre back. So obviously, if Burke's not quite available for Villa, obviously he can move over. And we've got Osho back as well. He didn't quite play. Did play for the development team the other day and got a lot of minutes under his belt. So obviously that's good. But yeah, just wanted to give a shout out. Just wanted to give a shout out there to Menji. As for his rating, like I say, them blocks were massive, absolutely massive. And yeah, that's the best game I've seen of him so far. I've seen good games from him, but that was definitely the best one for me. And you know what? He's my man of the match. He's my man of the match as well. The more I think about it, yeah, we conceded 2, but I just thought them blocks at the end were massive, absolutely massive. So yeah, I'm going with, like I say, my man of the match. I'm going to go over 9. I'm going to go over 9 because we did still concede 2, so I can't go over 10.
I thought he was decent. If you compare him to Kabore in that respect, he's younger or same age, whatever, a bit younger, I think. Come from Man United as well, but looks more established and more confident. Didn't quite get hold of in front of Woods for their second goal, but look composed, looks good in that position. For me, it's giving me Osho vibes of when Osho, I was dealing with him and rating him. I'm going to give him a 7.5.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Doughty. I didn't think he started off great in the game. I remember there was a moment where he passed it back to Kaminsky, but it's a bit of a dodgy pass. And I remember we both like, what are you doing? Like, so we just don't expect that from him. But I thought after that, he done well. Grew into the game and he's showing why he is up there for obviously it's still early, but player of the season for us so far. Got to remember he's not in his main position as well. And yeah, I thought he was decent. Like I say, I thought he grew into it. So for me, I'll go with a 7.5.
Yeah, another 7.5 for me. I actually thought by that pass, it weren't that bad. He was always willing to run forward, try and challenge for the ball. He won it a few times, particularly in the first half. Always looks hungry. He's young. He's played a lot of games. He's played his socks off to go get ahead of Giles.
Yeah, exactly.
But he always looks dangerous. He's composed on the ball and things like that. And I'm looking forward to seeing him score his first goal for us as well. 7.5.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And even last season, in the Championship, scored some wicked goals. The memorable one has to be that QPR one, don't it? I remember going absolutely mental in that. But yeah, obviously that got goal of the season as well from obviously our players and all that, fans, all that voting. Moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Chong. Like I said, I thought first half he was brilliant. I thought second half he wasn't as good. He was still okay, but he wasn't as good sometimes. And I know this is because of the type of player he is. He was trying to take people on, but sometimes takes too many touches, for me. But I thought he was decent. So I'll go with a 7 for Chong.
Yeah, I thought Chong looked lively. He's looking much better now. And getting used to it more, if that makes sense. Like he's rolling the team and where to pass it, when to pass it. A lot more composure there. Good going forward. Faded a little bit in the second half, hence why we took him off. But he was everywhere. So I'm going to give him a 7.5.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And then moving on to Ruddock. Again, I thought he was okay. I didn't think he was too bad, but I did feel we did need to. I didn't specifically say him from what I can remember, but I did feel we did need to change it up and take him off and go more attacking, because of the way we were starting to pile up pressure, even at 1-0. I said bring Townsend, bring Bartley on, them sort of players, for that attacking spark. But I thought he was okay, but it wasn't the best of what I've seen of Ruddock. I'll go with a 6.5.
Yeah, I agree. I'll give him a 6.5. He didn't do anything wrong particularly. He just wasn't really involved in the game. Do you know what I mean? He was just kind of like, it was almost like he was just sort of mopping up if he needed to. So yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, if any of you saw me smiling, then it's because obviously we've got Lewis in the back and Villa have just scored again. So they're 3-0 up. So that's why I was smiling there. But yeah, hopefully it's not going to be like that on Sunday. But anyway, we'll get into that in a bit. Moving on to the next player, Nakamba. Again, I thought he was immense. I really did. The tackling, just being that person in front, of that defence, covering. I thought he was really good again, especially in that second half. He's close to getting man of the match for me, but he doesn't quite get it. I'll go with 8 for Nakamba.
Yeah, I'm going to give him an 8. He's definitely settling in. He's like the anchor man, one of the best players we've had for a few years, in my opinion. And he thrives. He thrives in it. He knows exactly what to do in the Premier League against certain midfielders, etc. And didn't really put a foot wrong. So, and was always there, chopping at the bit. He is. Let's be honest. We like Campbell. Campbell is similar, but he's like a super Campbell, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But Campbell's good at that. I'll just quickly touch on that. Millwall sacked their manager. He started on the bench in the last game. I feel like potentially we should recall him.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So we'll see what happens with that. Because I think in that position, alongside Nakamba, he'd be better than Ruddock.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'll give him 6.5.
Yeah, and like I say with Campbell as well, I always go back to it. For me, obviously in the Premier League, even in Championship, games we had less possession. I just feel with Campbell, with his, the way, his grit, his determination, the way he goes to players, he don't care who you are. I just feel we are missing that in spells. Like I say, Nakamba does it well, but he needs someone alongside him. That's why I'm not a Lukonga fan. That's why it's unfortunate that he's injured, because he's got that experience as well. Let's be honest now. He has got that Premier League experience.
I think Lukonga's good, but we haven't seen enough of him to justify that he's better than Campbell. But we had this discussion before the season even started, and I said to you, I think Campbell caused problems in the midfield because of his tenacity, things like that. And I do believe we've missed a trick there. But watch his space, because I wouldn't be surprised if he does come back into the squad.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, there is something I do want to get into regarding that sort of position, because more stuff's come out during the week. So I'll get, I'll get into that after the player ratings. And then moving on to the next player, Chio. Like I said, if anyone else deserved a goal other than Morris at this moment in time, it's definitely him. He's been effective every single game. Like I said, very, well taken goal. Considering the bounce was a bit dodgy, obviously it wasn't. Townsend made some brilliant crosses in that game. Obviously that one wasn't great, but it worked, so you can't complain. And Chio done well to get onto it, and finish it off. And yeah, he's looking very good. He's looking very good, looking like a very good signing. And again, he's up there, man of the match for me. I'm going to go with another 8.
8 for me. He is my man of the match. The only dodgy moment was when he tried to header it clear earlier on.
Yeah. Where Kaminsky made the statement.
But he was still there. He was trying. He was hungry all game. He was affecting things. He'd done a lot of positive movement. He didn't put a foot wrong, and basically that goal gave us the confidence to then carry on and get that equaliser. So for me, best performance so far. Man of the match, 8.
Yeah, exactly. That it was topped off with a goal as well. It's got to make it its best, hasn't it? And then moving on to the 2 up front. 3, but obviously the 2 others. Obviously Brown, again, like I said, I felt he had to come off. For me, he has not been great since that Fulham game. Like I keep saying, I keep saying it, but he just hasn't been. He was unlucky in that game not to score. But the chance he had in this game, like I said, the header, it's a half-open goal. He's got to be doing better there. And Villa are winning 4-0, by the way. It's 4-0 at the moment. But yeah, like I say, he's got to be doing better there. He's got to be putting it on that left side, because it's a click, it's pretty much an open goal, like I say. And yeah, I felt subbing him was the right decision, definitely. And as the weeks go on, Townsend, if Brown carries on like this and Townsend carries on how he was, even though it's only been one game, but just getting the minutes under his belt as well, he'll have to go above him. It's as simple as that. So for Brown, like I say, I weren't too impressed with him. I'm gonna go with a 6.
I'll give him a 6.5. Just above average performance. He works hard and that, but these misses that he keeps having. That was an easier chance than the chance he had against was it Tottenham? He just headed it straight at the keeper. I don't think, but I do think that he's a bit like Elijah in that respect. He's a confidence player. I think once it does come, then it'll be all right. And I'm still happy to have him in the team in that position, especially if we've got a lot Elijah and Morris up front. We'll bring Towns on. It's him and Townsend now, if you think about it. So that's good. But yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And even going back to when you said about his chance against Tottenham, I think I know even the one against Fulham, that was much harder. The way he leads, fair play, but
what we'll quickly say as well, he's actually getting in them positions. Do you know what I mean? So that's what manager and that staff will be looking at. That he's getting in them positions. So that's what keeps him in at the moment. Do you know what I mean? So I do think he'll still be in the team going forward, but because he's not making mistakes, he's really, you know what I mean? He's not like costing the team or anything. But yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, absolutely. And then moving on to Morris, I would say not his greatest game, but he was still decent. He was still decent. He weren't awful or anything like that. And that's usually what we see of him. If he doesn't score anything, he's still doing all right. And it was one of them games for me. For him again, felt it was, well, obviously it's proven to be right for him to be subbed. And obviously both the goals, madly enough, when he come off. So yeah, like I say, it wasn't awful though. I'll go with a 7.
I'll give him a 6.5. I think he's feeding it a little bit as well, and also think that he was probably like the target man for them, their tactics, etc. So like mark him up, don't make sure he doesn't get anything. He won a few things and that he sort of bumbled along, but yeah, I think it was good that he come off because I think he does need a bit. He started every game. You got to rest your strikers as well as your defenders sometimes. So, but for me, yeah, average, just above average, 6.5.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And then moving on to subs, obviously we start off with Kabore, first one to come on. I'll say going forward, he's shown that he's decent, but obviously the goal, like I say, he's got to be stopping the cross better for me. And you can see, like you said earlier, that teams do see that and try and exploit that right hand side. Even when we played Everton, yeah, we won the game in that. Yeah, brilliant, But they, even they saw it early on in the game, to exploit that right hand side. A lot of times they were trying to play long balls out on the right. So, it's a bit worrying, especially when he is your right wing back, like I say. But yeah, for me, I'd say it was better, but it still wasn't great. So for me, I'm going with 6.
Yeah, exactly the same reason. Everything, mate. I can get into it more. Do you know what I mean? He did look all right going forward. He put a good tackle in at one point, but I felt if he'd have come on earlier, there'd been problems for us. That's what I feel. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, there's a reason why he's not starting, and potentially for me, you can't be starting him against Aston Villa. No way. So yeah, 6.
Yeah, right, especially the threat Aston Villa have got going forward. You know, you're seeing it now. You know, you definitely cannot be starting him in my opinion as well. Moving on to the next player, Barkley. Now, this was definitely his best game. You know, effective. Townsend obviously had a massive help in that. You know, like I said, I expected. And yeah, he was good. You know, I loved the bit where he was with the away fans. That was a sick moment. But yeah, obviously he did get fortunate with the goal, the third goal that obviously was offside. But other than that, I thought he was decent. I'll go with I won't go too high now. I'll go 6.5.
I'll give him do you know what? I'll give him a 7.5. I thought it out of the players that come on, he really affected the game. And he started bossing the midfield. You know, he showed that composure that you need at Premier League level. He wasn't like looking to rush. You could see that he had that extra time on the ball, which very good Premier League midfielders have, where they can go right, left, right. Do you know what I mean? And it made the difference. So 7.5. Definitely.
Yeah, there was a pass he done actually. That reminded me. There's a pass he done to Morris, I believe it was. There's a lovely, pass that you could just see from his quality.
And I think he was involved in like a little triangle of passes. I'm not sure if it's him, Elijah, and Woodrow. I think where we done like a quick quality that is, and you're showing it, and that's good. That's good because obviously they're working on that in training. They're not going to do it, constantly, but where they can think they can do it, they're doing it just to shut people up. And we saw glimpses of that last season as well. The Osho goal against Watford, particularly. We see it against Bristol City in the first 15 minutes. The way we were playing against Coventry, I think that was even the season before we're beating 5-0. The more they play, the more confident they'll get, and they'll do things like that. And I'm looking forward to us doing it, especially if it's against one of the top teams. That would be fucking immense. But
no, absolutely. And then moving on to Townsend, like I say, he was a massive part of this as well. I felt he had to come on, just experience. He's got the minutes for the development team as well, so he's get into match fitness. Obviously, he was on the bench, so obviously he's ready to come on if needed. He was needed, and there's a few crosses that weren't great. Obviously the one which led to a goal, but you can't complain because we scored. But majority of them were decent. And yeah, he was a massive part of us getting back into it. And like I say, I think he could be vital to us. If we do, stay up. Obviously, we've only got him till January at the moment, but obviously it could extend. But he's looking good. Obviously, he's got that experience, like I say. So for me, he was very good. Like I say, there's a few crosses, but majority of it he was good. I'll go with 7.5 for Townsend.
I'll give him a 7.5. The reason that a couple of his crosses weren't that great was because he was constantly pinging them in there. Every time he got a chance to do it, he's pinging them in there. And he hasn't played a hell of a lot of football, but he's definitely good. He knows what to do. So if we work on that in training, Townsend bombing forward, pinging the cross in, and players getting in, that's going to benefit us. And you can already see he will definitely make an impact. So yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then moving on to Elijah, like we say numerous amount of times, his confidence power. We've seen it so many times, since he's been at the club. Playoffs last season, obviously, shut all the people up that were obviously being idiots to him. That's what I'm going to say. And yeah, obviously got the equaliser, absolute limbs, well taken finish. And again, I'm going with another 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5. Excellent when he come on, looked confident. Obviously, brilliantly taken goal. But looked hungry, more confident, even building up to it, trying to win the ball and things like that. excellent positioning as well, because I think he does need to work on that, because he used to get caught a hell of a lot offside in the Championship, and has done as well in the Premier League. He can just hold back for a second way. He's got the pace, he's got the touch, you know. But in the box, not many defenders are outfoxing him. You know, if he gets on the ball, generally you're done. Like, in my opinion. So if we can work on that a lot, you know, that, because that different dynamic. You know, Morris he's got a good touch, but I feel like he's got a better touch. But Morris is more of an out and out striker, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But, you know, I expect him to possibly start next game. So yeah, he was close to getting up there, but yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then moving on to the last one, obviously Woodrow. I thought he was decent. To be fair. You know, like you say, that triangle moment. You know, good play there. He was getting into, you know, the box. You know, trying to get onto the end of things. It was quite funny when Elijah scored, because I don't know if he actually tried putting it back in the net, but he completely missed it. I think he actually got one of the fans. But yeah, no, that was better from him. You know, and obviously he's highly rated, you know, when it comes to his finishing. So hopefully, as the season comes on, you know, I don't expect him to start a lot of games. He can come on and impact them, similar to the Norwich game, for example, last season. You know, have that sort of impact. That'd be boss. But yeah, I thought he was decent. I'll go with won't go as high as the other subs, as in Townsend and Elijah, but I'll go for 7.
Yeah, I'll give him 7. I thought it was the best he's looked since he's come on as a sub. You know, playing the right passes, getting into the right positions, and yeah, you know, going forward, I just want him to have that impact for us this season, where he scores a winning goal against someone that comes on. Do you know what I mean? Like, actually do something, you know. But yeah, he was composed. It's definitely the best I've seen him come on as a sub, and that's good. That's good. It shows that certain things are working behind the scenes in that respect. So yeah, I'm pleased.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But that is that when it comes to the player ratings. So obviously, your man of match was Chio, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Chio. Yeah, Chio. Obviously, mine was Menji. But yeah, like I say, there's a lot of players you could put up there. You could even put the subs. You know, any of them. But yeah, overall, you know, very, you know, good comeback. You know, like I say, we would have took a draw going into it, because the City ground, you know, it's not an easy place to go. Like I said, building up to it, you know, you look at you know, the teams that are still unbeaten at home. It was them and 7 others in the whole of the English leagues, and that they were one of them. You know, even last time out when we drew 0-0 there, it wasn't, you know, we were the better team there, and we, you know, didn't win. You know, in that one. So overall, definitely take it. And yeah, especially if the next 3 coming up, I would have took it as well, you know, for sure. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Yeah, no, I saw that, Stephen, but I still wouldn't risk it against Villa, mate, personally, to be honest. Yeah, no, it was a poor free kick. But like I say, Chio reacted, and I give him massive credit for that earlier. You know, it's absolutely phenomenal with that. But yeah, like I say, that is the ratings done. But yeah, going to that CDM thing quickly before we get into the Villa game, there is something I do want to quickly discuss when it comes to that. And big up to Shay, because he did mention it, and it did recap my memory that we did have a little bit of news come out the other day. So let me just get it up. It wants to load. Bear with me a second. Share the screen. So obviously we were linked with this player when it comes to trying to get you know, another player. Obviously we could have we had a 24 Man squad. Obviously, we could get another one. I think this guy is young anyway, so I don't think it'd even matter for that. But anyway, for cover, and it says here, Luton Town are prepared. This come out a day ago. Prepared to spend 5.5 million to beat other Premier League teams to sign Oscar Zambrano. The club had already put in a bid of 3.8 million, which was rejected. Luton are still keen to sign him as he's considered our biggest target for the January transfer window. So for me, when it comes to this, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually is the number one target. Just due to the fact that Lokonga's, out, and obviously we need someone else to play alongside Nakamba. But this guy is highly rated. It could be a bit of a risk if we do bring him in, just due to the sense, we don't usually scout abroad. It's obviously a massive change, for him. Obviously, the Premier League's the hardest league, but he's rated highly. They've say he's the next Moises Caicedo. So you never know. It could be one of them where it could be decent. But what do you make of this news?
Yeah, I've heard it being battered around. There obviously is some truth to it. And yeah, I've said to you before, maybe said on Hat Show before, this is where we need to start doing what Brighton do, what Brentford do, start looking more abroad for players, getting good scouts out there, getting, this, that, and the other sorted. And why not? Yeah. And and he's young. So if we do sign him, he doesn't necessarily start off well. If we get relegated, etc., it sounds like it's a good start signing in the first place. It's not like, we're quite astute with our signings in England. Yeah. So we're going to be even more astute if we're signing players from abroad, because you've got to be, because we factor in, obviously, probably, are you going to be happy to move to England, leave your family behind if necessary, etc.? Do you know what I mean? I feel like we do that as a club. So it has to be right for both parties. And that's where it gets trickier when you're signing players from abroad, obviously. But just see what happens. Watch this.
Yeah. No, sorry. I weren't sure if you was going to say anything else there. But yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Like I say, I wouldn't be surprised if he is the number one target, just due to the fact of us needing someone really. Obviously, that's what we brought Lokonga in for, but obviously he got injured. When it comes to that, a few more comments before we get into the Villa game. Steve says, "What, come back?" Yeah, no, absolutely. Elijah, he's magic, for now. So yeah, hopefully, like I say, obviously he's a confidence player, so hopefully continues with him. And yeah, that is that. Upon that, and then Stephen says Osho back for Villa according to reports. Yeah, it makes sense, wouldn't it? Him playing them minutes in a development squad. Obviously, he was back for Forest. He just didn't come on, did he? Which I wanted him to, but thinking about it, it made sense that he didn't. Just due to not playing at all, and we needed to get something. Just due to his, match fitness, it could have been a bit risky if we brought him on. So yeah, but yeah, that is that. Moving on, like I say, to the Villa game. Obviously, they are playing right now. It's currently 4-1, and the other team did get a goal back. It's a pretty decent goal, but Villa are cruising like they've been most times this season so far. But yeah, obviously we're taking them on Sunday, 2:00. First Sunday 2:00 game in the Premier League, and yeah, it's gonna be a very difficult game. Obviously, they're all difficult, but just the form Villa are on, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Obviously, overall, we have a good record against them. We've actually beaten them more times. So this is the record overall. So Villa have won 15. There's been 5 draws and 19 wins. This is any, obviously, major competition. Last time we played, we did, it was a while back now, 2016. Obviously, we did win 3-1. in the League Cup. I do remember people going mental about that because in a way it was similar. Obviously, we were a lot, more leagues down at the time, but it was similar in the sense of, us when we beat Norwich. Not a lot of people didn't expect that because obviously they were in the Prem at the time. We were in the Conference, and it's a very emphatic win. Obviously I didn't watch it proper, but from what I've seen and stuff like that, it was one of them. But yeah, like I say, obviously the form going into it, obviously in the Premier League. So Villa, obviously their last 5, 3-0 loss to Liverpool, 3-1 at home to Palace, 6-1 against Brighton, 1-1 against Wolves away, and then 4-1 against West Ham. Obviously, as for us, lost narrowly to Fulham, obviously drew at home to Wolves, beat Everton, obviously got our first Premier League win, lost to Burnley narrowly, and then obviously lost to Spurs, and then obviously drew to Forest. So that is that when it comes to that. And yeah, like I say, it's gonna be a very difficult game. They all are. But Dad, how are you feeling going into this one?
Yeah, I do feel like it's going to be one of them difficult games. They are exceptional, especially at home. Emery's a very, very good manager. So I think they're going to just have the right tools to beat us, if that makes sense. Yeah, we're competing, etc. But I just feel like it's going to be a very, very difficult game. I actually feel like potentially Liverpool at home could be, and not we're going to beat them, but an easier game. If that makes sense. But again, as I always say, I'm happy to be proven wrong. I do feel like Nakamba's going to make, this is an impactful game for him. Either he's going to play exceptionally well against his former club, or he's going to end up getting sent off or have an absolute stinker. That's how I'm feeling. It's one of them. It's one of them. It's quite funny because we're used to, as a club, especially nowadays, and for the last 10 years, potentially, we should be able to win that game. That kind of vibe. Whereas now we're in the Premier League, we're like, as it stands, might have to take a hit. But saying that as well, they're the form team, or one of the form teams in the Premier League, but we've already faced 2 of them. Stan, which was a narrow defeat, but in that game, Tottenham as well. So there's that to add in it. The fact they've played in Europe, but it looks like they're cruising. It looks like they haven't really had to compete too much. It will benefit us being slightly fitter, or as fit as them, because we obviously, their whole squad's used to playing in the Premier League pretty much, etc., etc. But I do feel like that could help us a little bit. But yeah, I'm not overly confident for this game.
No, I'm the same. It's just, I see what they're doing, against Brighton. I fully watched that game as well. 12:30 kickoffs can be sticky. Brighton are a good side as well. We know that. And they beat 6-1. Do you know what I mean? Ollie Watkins is on fire. Their attack is just deadly. I've rated Diaby highly, and every time I see him week upon week, he's just getting even better. Douglas Luiz, phenomenal player. I think he got 2 against West Ham. Like, even West Ham, they're beating them 4-1. Do you know what I mean? West Ham are like, obviously, good side as we know. And they're doing that to them teams, at home, Villa Park. I've always said it's a difficult place to go. The whole end, when they're on it. And yeah, it's just, I'm not looking forward to this one, if I'm going to be honest. Like I say, I'll get into it on my prediction. But yeah, Lewis will be on shortly, very shortly. So I'll bring him on in a second. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll get into our lineup, and then I'll bring Lewis on for what he would go with and that sort of thing. So yeah, we'll do the usual. So yeah, obviously for me, I'm going to go, and I'm thinking this off the bat, by the way. Kaminsky in goal. It's got to be Premier League keeper for us. Now, the back three, Osho obviously will be in contention. Burke, I'm not too sure if he's going to be available for this. Hopefully, he'll be on the bench, but I don't think he'll start. Obviously, Lockyer. It's an interesting one here because you have got options as much as Burke's out. You've got Menji, you've got Osho, you've got Anderson. I'm going to go Lockyer in the middle. I'm going to go with me personally. I'll go Menji on the left, and then I would go Anderson. I'd put Osho on the bench. The CDMs, Nakamba obviously, and obviously it can't be Lukonga. I'm going to go with, this is where I'd like to say Campbell. It's got to be Ruddock, really, I guess. The wing backs, Doughty on the left, and then on the right, I'm going to say Chio, but it's sort of like he's free roaming. He's not necessarily there, but he's free roaming sort of thing. And then when it comes to the ones up front, let me just change it up to show you how I do it. Sort of like how it's been. Yeah, I'll go like that sort of thing. Obviously, Morris up front, up there. Now, I would go... What would I do here? I'll go Elijah on the left. I'll start Elijah. And I will start with... I'm going to say Chong. I was thinking Chong or Townsend. But I'll go with Chong. So that's the lineup I'd go with against Villa. I could understand if people do a change in formation. It would make sense. Especially being away against Villa, of how good they've been. But I don't know about a back four for us. That's the reason I don't go with it. And we do still sort of have that cover in CDM. It's not ideal. No disrespect to Ruddock, but it's not ideal because he's not predominantly a CDM, but it's the only player we've really got at the moment. Obviously, most of the other midfielders are attacking, obviously, other than Nakamba. So, yeah, Ruddock can do a bit of both. So I'll go with that. Any changes you'd make, Dad? Change formation?
Yeah, I've got mine. So I've got similar personnel, but I've got different formation. So if you can see that, there's mine.
Hasn't quite come up yet, but it'll take. So it sometimes takes a while. So bear with us, people, while we sort that one out. Apparently, Stephen's saying Anderson's injured.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He is. Oh my God. So, well, it's going to have to be Osho then for me because there's no one else. I've already got Lockyer and Menji. Burke, he'd be on the bench at best. So you're going to have to go with Osho. We know he's back. He's got them minutes. Maybe that is why he played in the development squad as well, to be ready for this one. So I'll go Osho there. I didn't know that. My bad. Cheers for telling me as well. But yeah, here we go. Here's your lineup, Dad.
So obviously I've got Kaminsky in goal. I'm going to put Doughty left wing back there. Menji left centre back. Lockyer centre back. Osho. I'm starting my man Osho on the right.
Yeah.
Defensive midfield, Nakamba, Ruddock. And then I'm going to continue with Brown there. Chio on the left. Morris up front. Along with Elijah.
Fair enough. No, that's fair enough. Elijah, like I say, obviously, hopefully he's got that confidence. And there was a game where I started him and he didn't quite do well. I can't remember who it was against. But hopefully this time now he will. And it would make sense. It would make sense. Brown hasn't been too impressive, like I say, since that Fulham game. So, yeah, that makes sense. But, yeah, Lewis is on with us. So I'll add him in to it now. This was last minute, so big up to yourself, Lewis, for coming on, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm right. I've got to run through things reasonably quickly. Because
Yeah, no, that's fine, mate. That's fine.
But yeah, I'm doing good. Obviously, I wouldn't say we've been at our best, especially the last 10, 15 minutes of being a bit complacent, but we're dealing with it okay. Didn't expect this, I can't lie, but I'll take it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, like I say, obviously, briefly, just give me your overall thoughts going into the game, your lineup, and your score prediction.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fairly confident. I mean, as you probably expect me to be. I'm not going to say something an absolute walkover. I fully expect you to be up for it, as you've got to be in the Premier League. I don't. Obviously, I think for me, I think Villa. I think you guys probably agree with me. Villa Park is a sort of place to come to rather than the City Ground. Obviously, I thought you'll be well backed, which might give you somewhat confidence. And I'm sure it will be the entire season. But obviously, I just think the sheer quality we have opposed to what you have, I think Darren said it earlier. Sorry, if I got your name wrong there.
Yeah, no, it's fine, mate. Absolutely spot
on. I just think the quality will just come through, especially towards the back end of the game, because obviously we're full of pace. And I think I said to you the other day, Tyler, obviously, especially defensively, you're lacking some pace compared to obviously your Diaby, Watkins, Zaniolo, if he's available. I don't really know. I haven't heard much about his ban with his thing going on in Italy. That's gone quite opposed to obviously what Tonali and the other guys going on about his thing. But obviously, I do expect you to bring it to us, but I do expect us to win.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough, mate. And I agree. Obviously, with the pace thing, it goes to Lockyer as well. Like I said, he's not the fastest player. Menji, he seems quite fast, but at the same time, he's one of them bulky players. So I do agree with that. Obviously, Burke could be out as well. So I definitely agree with that. But your lineup, Lewis, that you go for if you could pick.
I mean, if I'd pick, I'd go 4-3-3. I think I'd go that most of the season, but I know United likes to interchange formation in and out of possession. But what I'd go with is obviously Emi Martinez in goal, Cash at right back. I'd go with Pau Torres and Ezri Konsa. Maybe Carlos over Pau. He's been quite solid tonight, actually. Digne at left back, obviously, because Marino's in and out of fitness at the minute. I'd go with Douglas Luiz, and I'm gonna say Yuri Tielemans as you like CDM, but I expect them to keep going up the field. Yuri's been good tonight. And then I'd go McGinn a bit more forward. And then I would go Diaby and Bailey on the wing with Watkins up front.
Nice. Fair enough. And then last but not least, your score prediction. You say you're feeling confident. Rightly so.
Yeah, I mean, I do think you will score. Because I've seen at times tonight we've looked not shaky at the back, but not as confident as what I thought, especially we've been 4-0 up for 4-1 up now. But I'm gonna say 3-1 Villa.
Fair enough. Your goal scorers, obviously, just do Villas.
Ollie Watkins.
Yeah.
Got off feeling Douglas Luiz is going to get another one. He seems to have an absolute love at scoring at home at the minute.
Didn't he get 2 against West Ham?
Yes.
Yeah, the penalty and the other one, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going to go Leon Bailey. And then for you, I just got off feeling I don't know why. I'm going to say it. Taif Chong, former Blues player against Villa. Always happens when a Blues player plays us.
That'll be good. That'll be good for a Chong to get off the mark. But yeah, no, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. But yeah, thank you for coming on. Like I said, this was obviously a last minute thing, so appreciate that. But yeah, just let the people know where they can find you social media wise and that sort of thing.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Lewis Perry 550_, and that's about it really. Maybe Perry Sports sometime in the future, but it's going to be once in a ever blue moon, I think, at the minute. But cheers again for letting me on, and good luck, obviously, on Sunday and for the rest of the season.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
thank you.
no, absolutely, mate. Same to you guys. To be fair, I hope you lot win the Conference League. That'd be sick. Hopefully, you do something similar to West Ham last year. That'd be good. But
If we play like this, I don't see why we generally can't. I think tonight's definitely been the best I've seen us play in the Conference League. And if we can go on like this, then it'll be a massive confidence booster.
yeah, no, absolutely, mate. Absolutely there. But yeah, like I say, thank you for coming on, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
And yeah, hopefully I'll see you on it in another time very soon. So yeah, peace out, Lewis.
In a bit.
So yeah, big up to Lewis for that. Like I said, last minute. Like I said, I did try to get another Villa fan, but he didn't quite get back to me. But yeah, that is Lewis's prediction, thoughts going into it. And like I said, thank you to him for coming on again. But yeah, obviously we've done our lineup. I would say we're not feeling overly confident going into it. We just got to be honest. What is your score prediction, Dad?
Right, well, we'll get into it. They're looking good. They're looking good in this game. They've got a brilliant manager. I think this is one of them occasions where we potentially are going to get found out in the Premier League. With Tottenham, kind of expect it's different. We gave them oh, look, it's Tottenham for the first 15 minutes and then, played some football. I still think we'll compete. I do fully believe that. But, where we've played other teams, we know they've got quality, etc., etc. We rode our luck against Tottenham with their quality. I don't think we're going to be able to ride our luck against Aston Villa. I just think they're in the right form, it's the right time kind of players. This potentially could be our first good hiding, but I don't think it will be. And I think the fact the Canberra is playing, etc., I think that's going to help us. We are quite good away, better than we are at home, ironically, so far this season. So I'm going to go with 2-1 Villa win. And to get up, I'll go Morris.
That's fair enough. No, odd 2-1. Considering what Villa have done to other teams, I'll definitely take that. As much as it's not a point, it's still not as bad as maybe people might think it will be. As for me, my score prediction, I'm not feeling confident in this one. I think we'll compete, like you say, and I think we'll make a good account of ourselves. But like you say, I think Villa are just on form right now, top form. To beat West Ham in the manner they did. Brighton as well. 6-1. Like I say, that was a 12:30 kickoff as well. Them kickoffs can be a bit, sticky. You've seen it for other teams over the years. I'm gonna go 3-1 Villa in this one. I do back us to score, but I just think Villa going forward will have too much, and I think the defensive injuries we have won't be beneficial. So yeah, that's my prediction, and that's your prediction when it comes to that. Obviously, we've both gone with a goal. Who's getting our goal?
Well, Morris for me, I reckon. He, after the last game, he'll make an impact in this game, and he'll score a header.
Oh, well, I was thinking Morris. I'm going to go Chio. I'm going to go Chio to get another one. So yeah. Lewis says, cheers for that, mate. Sorry it's quick and brief. No worries, mate. No worries at all. Like I say, thank you for coming on last minute. It's always good to get opposition fans on. But yeah, let's go through your predictions. And then there's a few things I want to get into briefly at the end. Two different things. Chris has gone with a 4-1 Villa, which is, fair enough. It's fair enough, mate. Be similar to Brighton game, in my opinion, but hopefully I'm wrong for your sake. Just never know in football. Yeah, exactly that, mate. I think it should be a good evening for Villa. I like that one, Spencer. Going 3-1 Villa, yeah, same as me. And then Hano's gone narrow as well, same as you. He's gone with a 2-1 fatigue as they're playing away. That could play a part. But again, I just don't think. I still think their attack will be too much. Especially with the lack of options we've got. Even Douglas Luiz, midfielder, to be scoring the goals he has already is just phenomenal. Yes, one of them was a penalty, but still had to put it away. Got 2 against West Ham. I was watching that with Sedad, and they were just immense, mate. And even the Brighton game, watch out of him, and yeah, it's going to be difficult, man. It's going to be difficult, but yeah, obviously we'll back the boys throughout. Like I say, it was good to get a point against Forest, especially the games we've got coming up. Obviously this game, Liverpool at home, which is going to be massive, which has sold out, by the way. Unfortunately, we won't be going to that one. There's potentially that we might, but you know how difficult it is in the Premier League. And then obviously after that, we've got Man U. Again, they're not doing overly great, but they sat at Old Trafford. Do you know what I mean? So it's always going to be difficult. So yeah, that is that. And then the next thing I want to get into quickly, one of the last things, is 5 games have been announced on TV today, which means a couple more watch-alongs added on this season. So let me just share the screen and I will get it up. So obviously on the website, they announced it earlier. So 5 matches. The only ones I won't be doing are the ones that are on, what is it called? Amazon Prime, because it's still behind. But yeah, obviously Arsenal home fixture. That was originally on Prime anyway, but it's a new kickoff time, 8:15. So that will be on Prime. And then 5 days later, we play Man City on TV, which will be pretty sick. At home, I'll be doing a watch along to that. Obviously, that's on Sky Sports, 2 p.m. kickoff. And then the Sheffield United away game will be shown live on Amazon Prime as well. And then we'll be taking on Chelsea on the 30th of December. So both times we played them this season will be on TV. This one will be on TNT though. The last one was on Sky. And there'll be a 12:30 kickoff. So similar to the Tottenham game, essentially. Well, it will be the same in that sense. Hopefully not score-wise. And then finally, we play Burnley for a 7:45 p.m. kickoff on TNT. So again, that'll be another watch-along. Obviously, if I don't go to these, which obviously is difficult. But it does say on here, if we are, any of us, obviously us or Burnley, are involved in an FA Cup replay, the game will move to Friday 12th for 7:45 p.m. kickoff. I still will be shown live. So either way, it's going to be on the TV. So yeah, but then again, even if Burnley get to the EFL Cup semi-final, I'm not too sure they got in the next round. I can't remember. But say they get far, it will be moved again with a 12 o'clock start. So ideally, I want it to still be one of the 7:45 ones, if I'm being honest. But yeah, that is that. I just wanted to get into that. And then we did it last time. Obviously, there's another big boxing fight this weekend. So I want to quickly, touch on that. Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. Obviously, Francis Ngannou is, a UFC fighter coming over to boxing. We've seen historically they haven't really done great. Obviously, this is completely different as well because he's taken on Tyson Fury, who, in my opinion, is miles the best heavyweight right now in this, era of heavyweights right now. Definitely. How do you see it going, Dad? Big fight, and I will be covering it on Saturday night as well.
Obviously, Fury for me is going to win. I think the geezer is a lump, but come on now, boxing skills, it's not going to happen. Fury's not going to be stupid. He's not, he will get cocky. He will showboat, guaranteed, 100%. But he'll do it at the right moments. He's not going to do it in the first round when my man's swinging at him, etc., trying to take him out, because that's all my man's got. He has got a higher punch. Yeah, easy victory. I think he'll just play with him for a couple of rounds, and then he's done by round 4, knockout, TKO, whatever. That's my opinion of it. Furthermore, I'm more excited about the potential just before Christmas card with Fury, Usyk, Wilder, Joshua, and then whoever else is on there. Let's get back to real boxing, yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. So yeah, of course. It's the money thing. It's how the media is nowadays. You know, back in the day, he would have never have took that fight on. You know, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but it sells nowadays. Why are you going to take advantage of that? So stop all this stupidness towards him. Do you know what I mean? He's probably the only heavyweight boxer that will mix it up like that. He shouldn't really be fighting my man because he's not a boxer, but he is, and still dealing with it. You know. So yeah, just take him out, move on to it. Usyk, take him out relatively easy. It's just too powerful for him. You know, I like Usyk. Bit dubious against Dubois, but Dubois should have finished him. He still got done by him. You know, he said it was a bit touch and go, but that's what's going on. But I fully, you know, it's like Fury was saying about Fury, you know, his brother. The reason, and this is what I was saying to you, Tyler, that KSI is set up in a certain way that you couldn't box against him. If he was a proper boxer and it was a boxing fight, he would have got beat easily and clearly, right? But because that what he was told to do, to bounce around like this, and Tyson was saying it, to set up them big punches to, you know, take them out, you've got to learn how to do that. But you can't specifically, you'd learn how to do it more against fucking actual boxers, yeah? But against someone like that, it's just the patterns of that. You don't train for that, and that's the problem. But boxing wise, obviously, he won the fight, and that's why for me, he needs to move on to, you know, proper boxing. Forget all this like YouTube nonsense. Just let them fight each other. That's fine, because eventually people will get bored of it and go, "This is we're paying like whatever we're paying for." And it's just like 2 kids in the playground trying to scrap. So that's all it fucking is. Do you know what I mean? For me, the Fury, what's his name? The Congo, whatever his name is, yeah. UFC, big lump, capable of hitting you, but he ain't. Fury's just a pure boxer, a pure fighter. He's got no chance. And if you think otherwise, you're fucking deluded. It'll be over within 4 rounds, unless Fury just plays with him, lets him like get a couple of slaps in or whatever. But really, just deal with him. Just deal with him, because you've got to fight a proper important fight, a harder fight. Usyk gives him a harder fight than fucking this guy does, 100%. Do you know what I mean? Usyk, mate, he's got the boxing ability to outthink him, frustrate Fury. This is his most frustrating fight that he's ever going to have, in my opinion. But I still think he can, once he's worked him out and started to work him out, he does this, I'll bang him here. He's got the power to do it, and he will fucking do it. So yeah, that's my opinion of it. I'm looking forward to. I will watch it, obviously. You know, it's like that. It's not necessarily a YouTube boxer, but he's meant to be a boy in that. But he's just going to get dealt with. It's just an easy pay packet. It's the way it is today in society. Don't mock it, because half the people that are mocking it are still going to watch it anyway.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Half of them want Matey Boy to knock Fury out, get a lucky punch, and then what does that do to Fury's career? In my opinion, fuck all. It's a one-off thing. Do you know what I mean? You shouldn't be doing it. But it just enables all the negative bullshit. Social media control you with negative bullshit online. Yeah, see, look, this happened and that. But it's not going to happen, because reality kicks in these events. Yeah, it will just jab his face. He'll play around with him. It's going to be enjoyable to watch, and he will be doing the showboating, and then bang him in the fucking side of the head. You're going to enjoy it. You know what I mean? Click that up. But yeah.
Oh dear. But yeah, no, I agree. Fury will win definitely for me. You know, experience. You know, and yeah, for me, he'll win however he wants. You know, he'll either just dance, well, not literally dance with him, but
I tell you, it's similar to the Mayweather McGregor fight. You know, everyone was on the same. Yeah, but he could hit, he could bang, he could do this, he could do that. But when it come to it, he just got schooled, mate.
Yeah, and the difference is as well, Fury's still in his prime. When Mayweather fought McGregor, he wasn't.
Right, this is the same thing, but at heavyweight. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Know your mushrooms. Know what's going on here. Don't get deluded by social media, because that's what a lot happens. Even KSI himself has got deluded by that. You know what I mean? Yeah, like he definitely wasn't robbed. You know, he looked good, slight patches, but overall he wasn't boxing, and that's what it's about. Yeah, that's why you lost. Yeah, simple as that. Your punches didn't connect. They weren't hit me hard. You know, it doesn't work. The punches landed. Yeah, that's what counts.
Yeah.
So,
no, exactly. And then judges as well in that fight. Just quickly, they've done, you know, the biggest fights. You know, and as much as people won't say it is, when it comes to the eyeballs and that, it was. So it was right that they brung them in for that. But yeah, no, exactly. And there was little minor things that Fury done which won him the fight. If you have a look at it again, you know, just when KSI was coming in, Fury got him a couple of times, you know, and just done them little punches essentially, which count. But yeah, I'll say for me, I think Fury wins. However he wants, really. He can just outbox him or knock him out. I can't really give a prediction except Fury winning, really. So yeah, that is that. Just wanted to do that. Like I say, I will be covering it. I will be doing a watch along to it. So make sure you do tune into that if you can. And then there'll be a hat show. You know, some point. We play on Sunday, so probably at some point during the week. And then we got a big preview planned for the Liverpool game. Hopefully that'll be on Friday. So we might do the hat show at the start of the week, Monday maybe or Tuesday. One of them days, I'm thinking, but obviously we'll have a little discussion and go from there. But yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Any final things you'd like to say about anything, Dad?
Yeah, I'm pleased that, you know, you've got the technical equipment and the camera to run it. No problem.
Shout out to you, Dad, and the family. Do you know what I mean? Because it actually feels good. You know, it's quick. I'm on the mouse. Do you know what I mean? It's good. You know, to be around doing this. I just need to sort the light out, and then we're chilling even more.
Yeah, we're chilling. And yeah, just keep the faith. You never know with Luton. They tend to surprise you. We could end up getting a result at Villa. And you know, we're in with a fight. You know, there's this stuff going on with Everton. We won't go into it too deep because, for me, I'd be surprised if they'll be the first Premier League team to get points deduction. Potentially, but it's more likely to be a fine, transfer embargo. Especially based on the Man City situation, where they're surely they're in fucking deeper shit. If you give Everton 12, what are you giving Man City? So I think there's a bit of that into it. So don't look at too much. We just got to carry on doing what we're doing. I'm really enjoying it. It has been frustrating, but most of the frustration has come from the negativity on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like, because in reality, we're actually doing what we come out and said we was going to do. You know, and we've learned lessons, but we've learned them quickly. We've been unlucky with injuries as well. Certain signs haven't, like, you know, but we're still there. Once everything clicks, I think we'll be fine. I honestly think we'll be fine. And then still got January. as well. You know, potentially we can only sign one player. We'll see. I think we do need to move around. Certain. I think Pierre has gone. I think he's gone to start. They're terrible. Colchester was started off well, doing shit at the moment, but Taylor's doing all right there. But still,
scored again yesterday.
We did question that. You know, I feel like he should have been loaned to a League One team. Where at Barnsley, I think, is it Barnsley?
Barnsley, where McAtee is.
McAtee's doing all right there. He ain't necessarily scoring, but he's starting games, etc. Fred's done initially pretty well. Rotherham was struggling, you know, so that's where they need to be for me. Because I watched Colchester game against Forest Green. They were terrible, absolutely terrible. And I was thinking he ain't going to benefit from being in that. You need him at a higher level, like fighting for chances and that. Do you know what I mean? So there's that, but that's just lessons learned, isn't it?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah, just enjoy it. We've got some very tough games coming up. You know, if in I predicted in 15 games time we'll be in the relegation zone, but we'll still be in with a fighting chance, and that's all you need. You know, if you're on a fighting, even last game of the season, if you draw or win, you stay up. You know, as long as you're in that kind of position, you've got nothing to lose ever. But we'll see what's going forward.
Yeah. Well, you know, looking at it, obviously that Oscar Zambrano that obviously we're looking at, CDM, or apparently looking at. Obviously, we had scouts going out there. We could sign him and someone else because obviously he's 19, so he wouldn't count as the 25-man squad. So, like I said earlier, it would make sense if he was our main priority, just due to the fact of the Lukonga injury. But we'll see. We'll see with that. But it'll be interesting to see what we do with the likes of Townsend as well. You know, will he extend? I think that all depends to how he does. Obviously, he started off all right, you know, but again, it's only been one game, so you can't. Yeah, as much as he affected the game as well as everyone else that come on, you know, it is one game. So see how he does as the games go on, and at some points he will start games. So we'll see how he does in that, because it'll be better to judge from the start, that sort of thing. But yeah, that is that. Obviously, it's been a bit of a longer one, but a lot of things obviously we discussed and that sort of thing. Like I say, big up to Lewis for coming on again last minute. And like I say, I'll be back again on Saturday for a watch along to the Tyson Fury Francis Ngannou fight. But yeah, and like I say, we'll do the Hatter show probably a bit earlier on in the week. You know, it makes sense because, like I say, we've got a big preview planned for that Liverpool game. We're going to do it on the Friday. So yeah, we'll do a Hatter show a bit earlier on in the week, Monday, Tuesday, something like that. So obviously the game's on Sunday. So yeah, that is that. But yeah, the current like count is on 13 likes. So big up to yourselves. As for subscribers, we are currently on. I'm on the extra channel. Make sure you do subscribe to that if you haven't already. We're currently on 88 on that one. 1,827. So big up to yourselves for that. Like I say, make sure you do check out the vlog if you haven't already. Big up to everyone that has as well. Absolute scenes. So do make sure you check it out if you haven't already. And yeah, like I say, subscribe to the extra channel. If you want to follow me across any of my socials, links to them are in the description. And obviously smash a like if you watch this on playback, which I know a few people will. And yeah, until obviously Saturday for me, and then a bit early on at the start of next week. My dad will see you in a bit. Just take care and peace up the town. Hopefully we're proven wrong.